All right, y'all. Back for another episode. Appreciate everybody that's watching this. Please share it. Please like it. Please support the survey. Please. It's not going to take your time. If y'all don't want to support my survey that I personally made, then just do the petition. Sign the petition. You ain't got to fill out a survey. Sign the petition. I appreciate all of y'all. Please. I'll get back to that later in the show. Let me see what's going on with YouTube. And then I got to step away real quick because I'm trying to cook something. All right. Let me let people know that the show is live on. Let me let Twitter know. Let Twitter know we on and popping. That sound weird for me saying. Just say. Oh, today was crazy for me. I get into that. I get into that. Yeah, man. Poe, I passed out. I passed out. That's what happened. I'm gonna talk about it, but it's like I was shocked. I was shocked in a kind of like, yo, because when I fast, sometimes I overdo it, and to me, I didn't overdo it, and I passed out, and I was like, I looked up and I see my son looking down on me, and he's like, "Bah, you all right? You all right?" I was like, "What happened?" I'm looking up and John. That to me, especially the type of person I am, I hate to be seen in a weakened state. To see my son see me in a weakened state, and my son, he said, I grabbed you and I saw your legs wobbling and everything, and you just went down. You slid down the gate. I was like, Dad, because I told him, I said, man, I don't really feel that well. I thought I was joking, but I really wasn't feeling that well, and I just like passed out. And what happened was, the doctors checked me because I'm not going to hospital, so they could just constantly like keep poking on me. So what it was, I knew what it was because I was fasting, like I keep telling y'all. But they checked my blood pressure, which that was one of my concerns because I don't have high blood pressure. And the last time I went, just for precautionary measures, they pumped me up with all this saline solution that made my blood pressure go up. I haven't had high blood pressure in decades, but they did it. So when they checked me, they said, "No, you're good." They checked to see if I was a diabetic, just mysteriously a diabetic. I said, "How am I gonna be a diabetic and I eat healthy?" And I know a lot of y'all, I know healthy people. Nah, stop. But I'm good. I'm good. Got up, walked. Me and my son, we walked around and everything. I'm good. Just wanted to let y'all know that Poe ain't going nowhere. Literally, I'm not going anywhere. Let me see. Let me let Twitter know I'm live and Poe ain't going nowhere. All right. Yeah, I ain't going nowhere. I see that I see that the new people that still city hired, they interested in my post. I see they're interested in my post, which is a great thing. depending on how they take it. Because I'm not holding back. See, a lot of y'all thing is y'all try to be subtle about things because y'all don't want to hurt y'all what would I say? Y'all don't want to hurt y'all chances of getting stuff from Steel City. I don't care about all that. My thing is truth comes before anything. Truth comes before anything. I don't care about all that nonsense. I don't care about none of that. A lot of y'all, hey, I gotta worry about if they're gonna give me something extra. Let me see. Oh snap. Yo, I'm looking at a post. Will Kinsler is happy at the state of this game. That is sad. That is extremely sad. He's happy at the condition of this game. So that means if you like the way the game is, that means you intentionally destroyed it. That means you intentionally destroyed it. So that means that Undisputed 2 is going to be a hot pile of garbage. That means Undisputed 2 is going to be a hot pile of garbage. If you like what this game is, you lowered the ceiling. You lowered the ceiling. Ash and Will, they lowered the ceiling. And Ash, yo, you are sad, man. That means you can be bored. That means you can be bored. You literally said nobody can change your vision. I know they're going to want me to do this and do that, but I'm not going to change my vision. You soft. And I know you probably saying, yeah, I'm soft with money in my pockets. People are in hell with money laying by their corpse. That's all I'm saying. People in hell wish they was in heaven. People in hell wish they was in heaven. Give me a second. I'll be right back, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm back. I apologize. It ain't like nobody came in. Shout out to Don D. Appreciate you, my brother. Uh, all right, let me get to start reading. No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send a post to LinkedIn. Let's see, can I get some of these developers in here? Some of these new folks. Some of these new people they hired. Give me a second, y'all. All right. All right, let me start reading. Um, right there. Let me see. All right, give me a second. All right, here we go. Is SCI building a better boxing game or just a bigger marketing machine? Give me a second, y'all. Is SCI building a bigger boxing game or just a bigger marketing machine? A growing studio, a growing concern. On paper, Steel City Interactive look like a studio on the rise. Expanding leadership, sponsoring boxing events, building partnerships across the sport, hiring new roles. They they present themselves as the studio chasing authenticity and innovation in boxing simulation. But when you step back and examine, check out the word. When you step back and examine before y'all saying, I'm saying the wrong things. Poe, you're lying. You don't know what you're talking about. When you step back and examine who they are hiring versus what their game actually needs, a different narrative starts to take shape. A different narrative starts to take shape. This is not just about hiring. This is about development priorities. The hiring reality versus the development needs. Let's strip away the marketing language and look at the actual signals. What the job listings show: only one active programming role, senior AI programmer. Broad departments listed: market, production, Q&A, etc. Minimal visible expansion in core gameplay engineering. At the same time, we see community-facing roles tied directly to marketing pipelines. At the same time, we see community-facing roles tied directly to marketing pipelines, leadership hires, and brand partnerships and communications. Dedicated efforts toward events, sponsorships, and visibility. Nothing for the game. Nothing for the core game. No developers. No major developers. And importantly, a senior community manager role embedded into the marketing team. Focus on engagement, influencer, and sentiment shaping. And importantly, a senior community manager role embedded into the marketing team. Focus on engagement, influencers, and sentiment shaping. What a boxing simulation actually requires. If the goal is a true next-gen boxing simulation or realistic boxing game, the higher focus should heavily lean towards combat system engineers, physics programmers, AI behavior architects, animation systems specialists, gameplay designers with sports simulation expertise, tools engineering for tendency systems and fight logic. These are not optional. These are core pillars. And this is one thing that with Ash hired a lot of EA guys. He hired a lot of EA guys. A lot of them EA guys were not there when the Fight Night series existed. So why did you hire them? Because somebody that used to work at EA influenced your thoughts. Ash was like anti-EA. He said he was going to make the NBA 2K of boxing. He was talking, Ash was talking gangster about EA when we talked. I'm not lying. I have no reason to lie. I don't benefit. I don't get anything out of this. The mismatch. Right now, the observable hiring patterns suggest core gameplay engineering, AI system depth expansion, marketing. Let me read it so y'all can get context. Right now, the observable hiring pattern suggests core gameplay engineering, the priority signal, low visibility, AI system depth expansion, minimal hiring, market community growth, high priority, marketing and community growth, high priority, brand partnerships, increase focus, brand partnerships, increase focus. That imbalance is where the concerns begin. As an adult, as a person that pay attention, now, I'm not going to even say as an adult, but I can't deny that I'm an adult. An older adult at that. The marketing expansion strategy. SEI is not making a gain. SEI is not making a gain. They are actively building a brand ecosystem around boxing. Examples: sponsoring boxing award events, partner with real world organizations, WBC, Ring Magazine, etc. Expanding social and community presence, investing in influencer and player engagement pipelines. And to the investors that say, they're not invested in us, we're not getting paid. You got paid when you came out there to see that fight. That was your payment. When you came out there to see that fight and y'all was there getting free food, that was your payment. From a business perspective, this makes sense. But from a development integrity standpoint, it raises serious questions. Are they scaling visibility faster than they are scaling the product? And let me put that in terms for people. Are they scaling visibility faster? Are they putting more emphasis on marketing than they are scaling the product, fixing the product, making it better? All right. The risk pattern seen before in sports games. This is not new. The industry has shown this pattern repeatedly. Early hype build on vision. Early hype build on vision. Marketing expansion before system maturity. Surface level improvements over foundational depth. Community management used to stabilize perception. Community management used to stabilize perception. And the result, a game that looks alive but doesn't play alive. A game that looks alive but doesn't play alive. The illusion of progress. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Did anybody even come in here? Oh, salute to E Boxing Champion. Appreciate you popping in. You already know I feel about Aaron. That dude had every opportunity to do something great and happily pooped on the bed instead of acting. You got to look at that post that he did. Him and Will are cheerleading each other like the game was successful. Him and Will are cheerleading each other like this game is a successful game. It's not. So by them cheerleading each other, how can we expect Undisputed 2 to be a great game? By them cheerleading each other, how can we expect to have a great Undisputed 2? I'm going to keep it a buck. I can't see it. The illusion of progress. A dangerous illusion can form more hires, more progress. But that only holds true if those hires are in the right disciplines. Hiring, brand directors, community managers, marketing strategics does not fix robotic AI behavior. Lack of ring IQ, shallow punch logic, poor defensive systems, broken vulnerability modeling. Why this matters specifically for Undisputed 2? A boxing game is not like other sports titles. It is one-on-one, system heavy, behavior dependent, timing critical, physics influence. If the underlying systems are not deeply engineered, no amount of licensing, graphics, commentary, promotion can carry it. Community management versus core development. The evidence of roles like community managers, social engagement leads, sentiment analysts signals something important. These roles are often used to maintain player trust, shape narratives, manage backlash, keep engagement alive. That's not inherently bad, but it becomes a problem when community management start compensating for development shortcomings. The critical question. Here's the real question no one is asking clearly enough. Is SCI building Undisputed 2 as a better simulation or better boxing game, or as a better product to sell? Because those are not always the same thing. Those are always not the same thing. All right. Let's see what you're saying in the chat. E-Boxing Champion said, no lies told. The game isn't meant to be fun, realistic, or promote boxing. SCI is only interested in promoting SCI. Yup. OG, I'm going to run to the corner store real quick. But when I get back, let's chop it up. 100. All right. Let me see. The optimistic counterpoint. Fair assessment. To be precise and fair, SCI is still a relatively young studio founded in 2020. They have grown rapidly. They do have some engineering hires. One AI person that they're hiring or they hired by now. They're trying to establish a foothold in a neglected genre. So it is possible that core hires are happening quietly. Yeah, that could be the case. That could be the case. I doubt it though. Systems are being worked on internally. Public listings do not reflect the full development pipeline, but perception matters. Exactly. Perception matters. And right now, the perception is drifting. The real danger is not that SCI is hiring marketing people. The danger is this: they may be solving visibility problems faster than simulation problems. The danger is this: they they may be solving visibility problems faster than simulation problems. If that continues, Undisputed 2 risks becoming a more polished version of the same underlying issues instead of a true leap forward in boxing simulation or realism. Build the engine first, then sell the dream. Build the engine first, then sell the dream. A revolutionary boxing game will not come from events, influencers, partnerships, social media presence. It will come from deep systems, intelligent AI, authentic behaviors, real boxing logic. If SEI wants to lead the genre, the hiring strategy must reflect that reality. Because in the end, players stay for marketing. Players don't stay for marketing. They stay for mechanics. Steel City Interactive is expanding, but current hiring signals suggest a stronger emphasis on marketing, community, and brand growth than any core gameplay engineering. While some development roles exist, the imbalances raises concern about visibility and engagement are being prioritized over deep simulation systems for a sport as complex as boxing. That approach carries serious risk. If Undisputed 2 is to evolve into a true next-gen boxing experience, the studio must align its hiring strategy with the technical demand of the sport, not just the optics of success. Understand? The anatomy of a misaligned boxing pipeline. Let's talk like the developers for the minute. Let's talk like developers for a minute. A proper AAA boxing simulation pipeline should be structured like this. Foundation layer must be built first. combat logic systems, AI decision architecture, physics and collision modeling, animation blending, and responsiveness, system expansion layer, tendency systems, adaptive AI behavior, damage and vulnerability modeling, fight pacing logic, content and presentation layer, commentary, visual polish, licensing, crowd systems, marketing layers, community, influencers, events, brand deals. Did y'all notice how I did that? The important things: foundation layer, system expansion layer, content and presentation layer, marketing layer. The problem: what it feels like right now, the top layer are being expanded before the foundation is fully stable. That creates a fragile structure. And in development terms, that leads to technical debt accumulation, patchwork fixes instead of systematic solutions, increasing costs to rebuild core systems later. All of this happened. All of this happens. All of this happened. Hiring signals are architecturally sick. Hold on. Hiring signals are architectural signals. Hiring is not random. Hiring reflects what problems a company believes it needs to solve. Hiring reflects what problems a company believes it needs to solve. So when you see growth in community roles, expansion in marketing and leader and partnerships, event presence increasing, but limited visible hiring and gameplay engineering, AI systems, physics programming, that tells you something critical. The perceived bottleneck may not be the gameplay, it may be perception. The perceived bottleneck may not be the gameplay, it may be perception. Translation for listeners: if a studio believes we need better gameplay, they'll hire engineers. We need better reception, they hire marketing. So the question becomes, what problem does SEI think it has right now? The engagement buffer strategy. Let's influence a concept. Engagement buffer. This is when a studio builds strong community presence, influencer relationships, ongoing events to stabilize player sentiment, even if the product is not fully where it should be. Why companies do this? Because it buys time. Time to fix systems, which Steel City never fixed. Time to iterate. Steel City never did that. Time to retain player interest. They did that to some people. Some people. Some people think the game is not broke. Some people think the game not broke. The risk. If overused, it becomes a substitute for fixing the actual product. If overused, it becomes a substitute for fixing the actual product. Instead of improving AI depth, you improve communication about AI. Instead of improving AI depth, you improve communication about AI. Instead of fixing gameplay systems, you improve messaging about gameplay. Boxing games are system dependent, not content dependent. This is where boxing is different from most genres. You cannot hide behind story, large maps, multiple modes, content variety. A boxing game is disposed immediately. Why? Because every fight reveals AI intelligence or lack of it, punch logic realism, defense behavior, authenticity, ring generalship. Translation: you can't market your way out of bad footwork logic, predictable AI, shallow punch systems. Players feel it instantly. And I know a lot of y'all say, Poe, man, you just whining. You just keep saying the same thing, man. You don't want us to get another boxing game. No, I want to get a boxing game, not a fighting game dressed up in boxing gloves. Not an arcade fighting game dressed up in boxing gloves. Let's break something down that many people. Let me read this. The illusion of progress through visibility. Let's break something down that many people confuse. Visibility progress, events, announcements, partnerships, social engagement. Actual progress, systems rewritten, AI improved, mechanics deepened, bugs structurally resolved. The disconnect. A studio can look like it's advancing rapidly, while the core gameplay remains relatively unchanged underneath. That's the illusion. The cost of delayed system investment. The cost of delayed system investment. Here's where this becomes dangerous from a production standpoint. If core systems are not deeply invested in early, you get late stage consequences. AI becomes harder to overhaul, animation systems become locked, fixed interactions become brittle, new features break old systems. Yep, sound about right. In depth, in depth, excuse me, in development terms. This is called compounding technical debt. In development terms, this is called compounding technical debt. And once it reaches a certain level, fixing it becomes expensive. Fixing it becomes risky. Fixing it gets delayed. The undisputed fork in the road. The undisputed two fork in the road. Right now, SCI is approaching a critical decision point. they can go one or two directions. Iterative upgrade, improve visuals, add more content, refine existing systems, maintain current architecture, results a better version of the same experience. Path 2, system overhaul, rebuild AI logic, deepen simulation layers, redesign combat interactions, invest heavily in engineering, results a fundamentally different boxing game. The concern, hiring patterns suggests movement closer to path 1, not path 2. The silent signal. The silent signal. What's not being shown? Let me see if anybody popped up in the chat. Salute the box out view. Appreciate you. Shalom Faze. Salute. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. Mean a lot to me. All right. Sometimes the loudest signal is absence. We are not seeing strong evidence of large-scale AI team expansion, dedicated combat systems teams, public emphasis on simulation breakthroughs, technical showcases of deep systems evolution. Technical showcases of deep system evolution. We don't see none of that. Because if those things were happening aggressively, they would likely be highlighted. What this means for the future? Let's be precise. This does not mean the game cannot improve. The studio's incapable. The vision is gone. It means the current trajectory risks optimization for the perception before the death. And if that continues, the Sunya remains limited. The core experience remains familiar. The genre does not evolve. A boxing game does not succeed long term because it looks good. It has licenses. It has hype. It succeeds because it feels real. It behaves intelligently. And it rewards good boxing knowledge. If SCI truly wants to lead this genre, the question they must answer internally is simple. Are we investing more in how the game is experienced or how the game is perceived? Because eventually players will separate the two. And when they do, only one of them matters. This is something I wanted to get off my back. Let me see. Let's get straight to this. This is a section of the game. I call this the rant section. This is my rant section of the podcast. Let's get straight to it. What are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? The game is broken at its core, and the loudest requests coming from parts of the community are adding more boxers. Give us more names. Who's the next licensed boxer? That's the priority. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, that's going to fix the game. You're decorating a cracked foundation. You're asking for more content in a system that doesn't function properly. And that shows how much of a boxing fan certain people are. They are a name fan. They don't care how the boxer represent themselves. They do not care about how the boxer represents themselves. So you're not a boxing fan to me. All right. You are asking for more content in a system that doesn't function properly. That is like saying add more paint to a house with no structure. Add more seats to a car with no engine. Add more boxers to a game that doesn't understand boxing. What happens when you add 50 more boxers? They all move the same, think the same, fight with the same limited logic, exist inside the same broken systems. So what did you actually gain? Nothing but names. Licenses don't fix logic. Licenses do not fix logic. Let's make this clear. A real boxer name does not improve AI decision making. Fix footwork, add ring IQ, create realistic exchanges, solve defensive gaps. All it does is give you a familiar face doing unrealistic things. That's not simulation. That's a skin. You're lowering the standards without realizing it. Every time you prioritize who's in the game over how does the game play, you are telling developers we'll accept less as long as it looks good on paper. And once that message is received, you will keep getting shallow improvements, surface level updates, more marketing, less mechanics. This is why the genre stagnates. This exact mindset is why boxing games have not evolved properly. Because instead of demanding better AI systems, real vulnerability mechanics, authentic movement and spacing through boxing logic, people ask for rosters, cosmetics, presentation. You are feeding the wrong side of development. The hard truth, if the gameplay is not right, it does not matter if you have 20 boxers, 200 boxers, every legend in history. They will all feel like variations of the same flawed systems. What you should be demanding, instead of asking for more boxers, start asking why doesn't the AI understand distance? Why doesn't boxers cut off the ring properly? Why does defense feel limited or inconsistent? Why is there no deep vulnerability system? Why don't different styles actually behave differently? Those questions force improvement. Add more boxers does not. Stop rewarding the wrong priorities, because here's the reality. If developers see that, marketing wins attention. Licenses win praise. Names win hype. Then guess what? They're invested in more of that, not deeper systems. If you truly care about boxing, stop asking for more boxers in a broken game. Stop demanding a game worthy of the boxers. Start demanding a game worthy of the boxers. Don't ask for more names. Ask for a game that actually understands the sport those names represent. Let me see what y'all saying. What's up, Leafy? Salute to Leafy. Leafy in the house. Appreciate you popping in, Leafy. All right. More boxers don't equal variety. More boxers equal more variety and replayability. Why people believe this? And most sports games, roster size does not increase replay value. Different teams, different players, different matchups. So the logic seems sound. Where it breaks in a boxing game. Boxing is not a team-based system. It is a behavior-driven simulation. If the underlying systems are shallow, systems collapse into sameness. Tendencies don't express properly. AI makes decisions regardless of boxer. Technical reality. Replayability and boxing games come from decision trees. Decision trees. Adaptive AI. Style interaction systems. Dynamic fight states. Not roster size. Translation. 100 boxers with shallow logic equals repetition. 20 boxers with deep systems, endless variations. Licenses are what sell the game. Short answer, yes, initially. Initially. But I also disagree. Boxing mechanics sell the game. Because this I'm going to use this as an example. When we seen Lyndon Arthur, and I keep forgetting old boy name. When we seen them fighting in the ring, a lot of us didn't know who they were. What caught our attention was the mechanics. A lot of people did not know who them guys was in the ring. But the mechanics caught their attention. Licenses are what sell the game. Short answer, yes. Initially. Big names drive pre-orders. Attract casual players. And this is my thing. How you gonna call them a casual player if they know who the big names are? If you got over 100 boxers or 200 boxers, casual fans do not know. They won't be casual fans. They would not be casual fans if they knew over 200 boxers. So who are you really trying to attract? So who are you really trying to attract? Casual fans do not care about. They care about the boxer that somebody talked about last year or a couple of months ago. But guys like from like 20 years ago, 10 years, they don't care about them. Big names drive pre-orders, attract casual players, increase visibility. That part is real, not really. Partially. But here's what gets ignored. Licenses do not drive retention. Retention is driven by gameplay depth, systems responsiveness, AI intelligence, emergent fight outcomes. Industry pattern. Games that rely heavily on licenses but lack depth tend to spike early, drop off quickly, lose long-term engagement. Translation. Licenses get players in the door, systems keep them in the building. Systems keep them in the building. Give me a second, y'all. Excuse me, y'all. I'm trying to write some more stuff to talk about. Let me see. Um, Let me see. Pushback 3. I push back. They can do both. Add boxers and fix gameplay. In theory, yes. In practice, this depends on team size, resource allocation, production priorities. Here's the key issue. Every hire is a decision. Every sprint is a trade-off. If resources are going toward license deals, scanning boxers, marketing campaigns, this is time and money not going towards AI architecture, combat systems, physics tuning, development truth. Parallels work is possible, but priority still dictates outcomes. Translation. You can do both, but you cannot prioritize both equally. The game just needs more time. The time alone does not fix systems. Time only helps if the right problems are being targeted, the right teams are in place, the architecture supporting the improvements. If not, you get incremental tweaks, surface level fixes, persistent core issues. Example patterning. Patch improves stamina slightly. AI still lacks ring IQ. Movement still feels off. Core experience remains unchanged. Translation. Time without direction equals delay, not progress. You're being too harsh. It's a small studio. This is the most common defense. And it sounds fair on the surface. But here's the reality check. If a studio is partner with major organizations, hosting or sponsoring events, expanding marketing presence, selling at premium pricing, then they are not positioning themselves as small. They are positioning themselves as a serious competitor in the sports gaming space. And that comes with expectations. You don't get AAA prices, AAA visibility with indie level scrutiny. Translations. You are judged at the level you present yourself. People just want their favorite boxers. Let me see. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Oh, all right. Let me see. Oh, y'all was conversating Satan. Let me see what y'all saying about him. E-Boxing Champion said that's a legitimate point. A lot of people are more excited to play with more boxers than to actually use boxing mechanics. If the game had more realistic mechanics, it'll probably be a little different. Yeah. Yo, it's a lot more people here not saluting everybody. Yo, hit that like button, please. Yeah, I agree. E-boxing. This is what Leafy said. I agree. E-boxing. Maybe players would be more turned on if the game had better mechanics. 100%. I will be right now. This would be a promotional video. I will be talking about the game. If the mechanics was in place, I will 100% be cheerleading. I'll 100% be cheerleading. Shalom Frey said if the game had better mechanics, a lot of players won't play because to learn mechanics require time and skill to use. Nobody wants to develop skills nowadays. People just want wins. That's where options come in. E-Boxing Champion said, I agree that it takes more effort to learn mechanics, but if the only game we got had the mechanics, people would be more incentivized to play them. Pick them up. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I would love Undisputed. I would love Undisputed if the mechanics were good and realistic. 100%. I would too. Leafy said, what's everybody up to today, by the way? E-Boxing Champion said, right now, it feels like SCI just took the easy way out because They figured they could just sell anything, and boxing fans will have no choice but to play. Leafy said they did, unfortunately. They aren't actively updating the game to make it better. Silent Face said, "What's up, Leafy? A boxing champion? Yes, only those who are real boxing fans, not casuals. The casuals are killing undisputed as it is, and most gaming companies just cater to those who think they know, not not the fans." Let me see. People just want their favorite boxers. This is the most human argument, and it's valid emotionally. It's valid emotionally. People want representation, connection, familiarity. But here's the trade off. Would you rather have option A, your favorite boxer in a shallow, unrealistic system? Option B, fewer boxers, but each one behaves authentically. Option B, fewer boxers, but each one behaves authentically. Option A, your favorite boxer in a shallow, unrealistic system. Long-term impact. Option A, short-term excitement. Long-term disappointment. Option B, slower start. Long-term respect and longevity. Long-term respect and longevity. Translations. Representation without realism becomes novelty. Representation without realism becomes novelty. At least they're improving something. This is where standards start to slip because improvements alone is not the metric. The real question is, what is being improved? Surface systems or foundational systems? Why that matters? If improvements are happening mostly in presentation, content, licensing, but not in AI depth, combat logic, system interaction, then the core experience ceiling remains the same. Translation: not all progress moves the game forward meaningfully. Every argument in favor of more boxers share one assumption: content drives quality. But in a boxing simulation, systems drive quality. Content only expresses it. You cannot add enough boxers, add enough animations, add enough presentation to compensate for weak AI, shallow systems, limited boxing logic. Let's bring it home clearly. If systems is wrong, everything built on top of it inherits that problem. So when people push back and say, add more boxers, just give it time, just let them cook, what they are really saying is, I'm okay with the foundation not being right yet. And that's the line that decides whether the genre evolves or stay exactly where it is. Replayability comes with systems, not roster size. Licenses drive sales, not long-term engagement. I'm going to build on that. Resources are finite. Priorities matter. Time without proper direction doesn't fix core issues. Emotional attachment to boxers should not override demand for realism. Not all improvements are meaningful improvements. Not all improvements are meaningful improvements. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Charlotte Phrase said Undisputed is a spit in the face of the sport, in my opinion. I agree. Charlotte Phrase, for real, it's disrespectful. It's very disrespectful. That's why people be asking me, why are you so angry? Because I boxed. That's one of the reasons. Because I box. I know boxers. I talk to boxers. I live boxing. That's why I feel like this disrespectful. It's like if one of y'all played baseball or basketball and then the sport is not represented the way you love it to be represented, you're supposed to be angry. E-boxers is silent phrase for real. It's disrespectful, and those of us that love the sport feel that spit in our face, y'all. 100. 100%. All right. The reality of casual fans' knowledge. Ask the average, because this is what they say. This is what people say a lot. I even hear some of the hardcore fans say it too. They say casual fans want licensed boxers. That's why we got licensed boxers. Because the casual fans want licensed boxers. The casual fans want licensed boxers. It don't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would the casual fans want licensed boxers when they don't know all of the boxers? Wouldn't a hardcore boxing fan want all the boxers? Wouldn't a boxing fan want the boxers? All right. The reality of casual fan knowledge. Ask the average casual fan right now. Name 5 active boxers. Name 5 all-time greats outside the obvious. Most struggle. They might say a current superstar or two. Maybe a crossover name. A legend they heard repeatedly. But beyond that, there's a steep drop-off. So, who wants these licensed boxers? What this means, the majority of the roster does not register, does not influence purchase decisions, might as well be unknown created characters. A lot of these fans, they look at them as unknown. And why should they want to learn about these boxers that you add to the game when the boxers don't represent themselves in the game? When the boxers don't represent themselves enough in the game stylistically for people to do their research to know about them. What this means, the majority of the roster does not register, does not influence purchase decisions, might as well be unknown created characters. That's what I be saying. And people literally, I heard people say it. Who's this guy? Who's that guy? I'd be like, you don't know that guy? If 80% of your roster is unrecognizable to casual fan, it is not a selling point to them. If 80% of your roster is unrecognizable to casual fans, it is not a selling point. So they can't use that excuse anymore. So they cannot use that excuse. What actually attracts casual fans? Let's get to it. Casual players are not making analytical purchases, decisions based on roster depth. They respond to immediate experience signals. Does the game look realistic? Does it feel responsive? Does it look fun to play? Perception triggers trailers, gameplay clips, word of mouth, streamers and content creators. These are the perception triggers: trailers, gameplay clips, word of mouth, streamers and content creators, not casual fans. Not casual fans. Not this. The game has 73 licensed boxers. This is not a hook. This is a bullet point buried in a feature list. This is a bullet point buried in a feature list when it comes to casual fans. The top 5 illusion. Let's break down what actually sells in terms of names. A boxing game does not sell because it has 100 licensed boxers. It sells because it has 3 to 5 recognizable names. That's it. That's it. After that threshold, adding the 6th, the 20th, the 80th does not scale sales proportionally. Why? Because recognition does not scale linearly. It drops off sharply. Translation. The first few names matter. Everything after that is diminished returns. The first few names matter. Everything after that is diminishing returns. Hardcore versus casuals. The mislabeling problem. This is where things get flipped. Hardcore fans care about deep cuts, no contenders and legends, appreciate roster authenticity. Casual fans care about accessibility, care about fun, care about feel. The mistake: studios often justify massive rosters by saying casual fans want licensed boxers, when in reality, the argument applies more to hardcore fans than casual fans. That argument applies more to hardcore fans than casual fans. But we always get at like we're the minority. The business miscalculation. Licensing is expensive. Contracts, royalties, scanning and modeling, ongoing agreements. So the real question is, why is the return? No, what is the return on the investment? If only a handful of names drive interest, most of the roster goes unnoticed, then you are allocating major resources toward low impact features. The opportunity cost. Every dollar spent on licensing is a dollar not spent on AI engineering, combat systems depth, animation refinement, physics tuning. This is the part people ignore. You are not just adding boxers, you are choosing boxers over systems. Licensing is not free. It competes directly with gameplay investment. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat real quick. Shalom Frey said, of course, licensed boxers will help, but first, I want a boxing game that works. Not necessary, Poe. If the only difference between every boxer is the skin, boxing fans won't care that much about more boxers. What would it matter if they look different and all fight the same? Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. What's his name? What's his name? I forget. But he want more boxers in the game. I forget his name right now because he's getting me upset. Yeah, he want more boxes in the game, and I'm just saying, you just want new skins. You want reskins of the same boxer. If we want a boxing game that works, it has to be made by boxers, boxing historians, and trainers. Yes, gotta have all of them in the studio, but they put them out. Boxing ain't fun. It's calculated war. It's chess mixed with violence. Yup. It's crazy because most of us that play this incomplete game want to love it, but can't because it isn't good 100%. You talking about Crooks. I'm talking about no, it's Crooks and it's dad, I forget his name. Let me pull up my thing. It's old boy that he likes Teofimo. He's a huge Teofimo fan. I keep forgetting his name. He's a huge Teofimo fan. And boy, did I get joy out of him. Teofimo getting beat. And I say, yo, I was happy. Because he made Teofimo, no matter what Teofimo did or said, he was supportive of Teofimo. And he himself says some Teofimo type things. Did y'all see on the Undisputed forums, Ash and Will popped up in there, and they're praising the game. Did y'all see Ash and Will praising the game on the Undisputed Twitter forum or X forum? That junk is crazy. That junk had me. Let me see something. Oh yeah, I forgot Boxing come on tonight. Let me see. Give me a second, because he answered me back. Let me see. And I respect him standing his ground, but what's it? What? Who is it? Who is it? Why don't I have? Because I responded back to him. Did he block me? Did he block me? That's some girl stuff. If you block me, please tell me you didn't block me, man. That's some female stuff. I heard it your feelings, so you blocked me. Let me see. Okay, he didn't block me. Marv the Great. Marv. That's what I'm talking about. Thought you did some female stuff for a minute. E-boxing champion said, honestly, I like the idea of having to actually strategize your training before each fight. These guys adapt their training per fight. So why should we get a one size fit all? Exactly. See, y'all need to read, y'all need to start reading my blogs. Y'all be like, Dad, Poe, the way your brain, you be thinking. Just read through it. Yup, I saw it on my Insta. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. Asking Will Kinsler acting like this game is not broke. E-boxing champion said, bro, I'm still waiting on Aldo Teal fan that I was arguing with to come on back to the post and apologize for slavery. Exactly. They ain't doing that. They're not doing that. Especially Marv. Marv not apologizing. Marv not apologizing. Yeah, he ain't apologizing for nothing. He probably felt that Teal shouldn't apologize either. All right. What actually converts casual fans into long-term players? What actually converts casual players into long-term players? Casual players may enter because of a name, a clip, a recommendation, but they stay because of feel, responsiveness, depth, replayability. If the gameplay isn't there, they leave. And they do not care about many licensed boxers exist. Casual players. The real role of licensed boxers. Let's be fair and precise. Licensed boxers are not useless. They serve a purpose. They are entry points, familiar anchors, marketing hooks, visual credibility, but they are not the product. They are wrapping paper and not the gift. The core misconception. The biggest misconception is this: more licensed boxers, more appeal to casual fans. The reality, more licensed boxers, the reality, a few recognizable names plus strong gameplay appeal equals appeal. Larger roster without depth equals wasted potential. Final breakdown. Let's strip this down to the essentials. Casual players' decision flow. Does it look fun? Does it feel good to play? Do I recognize anyone? Optional boost. How many licensed boxers are in the game? Let's make this undeniable. Casual fans don't buy boxing games because of 100 boxers. they can't name. Casual fans don't buy boxing games because of 100 boxers they can't name. They buy it because because the game looks good, feels good, and it's easy to pick up. And if the game isn't there, it doesn't matter if the license, it doesn't matter if you license the entire sport. All right, let me see. Casual fans recognize very few boxers. Large rosters do not significantly influence their buying decisions. A handful of recognizable names is enough for marketing. Licensing has diminished return beyond top tier names. Resources spent on licensing reduce investment in core systems. Gameplay, not roster size, determine retention. And this is the thing. Steel City have money, they have resources for these events to bring the content creators out, to pay for them tickets for the fights. They got money to travel the world. They got money to buy all these studios. They got money to do that event. But they can't invest in the core systems. That's a major problem. Let me see. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Bro, it was, E-Boxing said, bro, it was crazy how many people called me a racist because I knew Shakur was going to watch him. Yup. Of course they're gonna say that because they want you to accept who they accept. They want you to accept somebody even if it's against what they say. And I tell anybody, I will go with Shakur. For one, he's from North, where I'm from, against anybody except Tank Davis. Except Tank Davis. I know a lot of y'all say, well, yeah, I think Tank will punch through that defense. With the defense really, and Tank know how to fake more than a lot of these guys that Shakur was fighting. Tank know how to fake better. Tank does a lot of things a lot of people don't really pay attention to. Let me see. I'm gonna do some Q&A, then I'm gonna end it from there, or we could just talk. But I'm gonna do some Q&As real quick. All right, let me see. All right, first question. If casual fans only recognize a few names, why do studios keep pushing large license rosters? If casual fans only recognize a few names, why do studios keep pushing large license rosters? Because it's easier to sell perception than systems. A big roster looks like value on paper, even if most players don't engage with it deeply. It creates a marketing headline, not a gameplay advantage. It creates a marketing headline. Y'all see that part right there? Marketing headline. That's what the roster does, because the game is a marketing tool. Undisputed is a marketing tool. And I'm pretty sure at this point, Undisputed 2 is going to be a marketing tool. I can't see us getting anything better. But I hope Steel City proves me wrong, 100%. Or another company come and make a game. All right. Question 2. Are licensed boxes actually a shortcut for avoiding deeper systems development? Are licensed boxes actually a shortcut for avoiding deeper systems development? In some cases, yes. Licenses can attack as in some cases, yes, licensing can act as a distraction layer. Instead of solving complex problems like AI behavior or fight logic, studios can lean on recognizable names to carry interest temporarily. Studios can lean on recognizable names to carry interest temporarily. Why do players defend licensing so strongly if it doesn't improve gameplay? Because it's tangible. You can see a new boxer. You can't immediately see improved AI architecture or deeper decision trees. Players gravitate towards what's visible, even if it's not what matters most. Question 4. Is there a psychological effect behind wanting more boxers? Yes. It's a complementation. It's a complement. It's a completion mindset. People associate bigger rosters with completeness and authenticity, even if the underlying systems don't support true differentiation between those boxers. Question 5. Could a smaller roster actually make a better boxing game? Could a smaller roster actually make a better boxing game? Absolutely. A smaller roster allows developers to focus on individuality. Each boxer can have distinct tendencies, behaviors, and styles that actually feel different instead of being surface level variations. Why do players equate realism with having more real boxers? Why do players equate realism with having more real boxers? Because realism is often misunderstood as representation, but realism comes from behavior, physics, and decision making. A fictional boxer with authentic logic is more realistic than a real boxer acting unrealistic. Do licenses matter more than marketing teams that develop teams? Do licenses matter more for marketing teams than development teams? Dad, I read that all wrong at first. Yes, marketing teams benefit directly from recognizable names. Development benefits from strong systems. When licenses dominate the conversation, it usually reflects marketing priorities more than gameplay priorities. If licenses have diminished return, why does studio scale it back? If licensing has diminishing returns, why don't studios scale it back? Because it's a safer investment from a business perspective. It's predictable. Deep systems development is risky, time consuming, and harder to showcase in short term marketing cycles. Let me see. I got these a lot of questions. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Let me see. Bro, I was great. Okay. Let me read these. I'm gonna read two more, no, three more questions and then I'm out. Then I'm out. Are players unintentionally encouraging shallow development by asking for more boxers? Yes. Boxers demand, excuse me, yes, boxers demand shapes priorities. If the loudest requests are for content instead of systems, studios will follow the signal. It's not malicious, it's reactive. All right. What's the difference between roster depth and gameplay depth? Roster depth is quantity, gameplay depth is interaction. One adds options, the other adds meaning to those options. Without gameplay depth, roster depth becomes cosmetic. Could licenses ever actually hurt a boxing game? Yes, if it diverts too many resources away from core systems. Overinvesting in licenses can limit what available for AI, physics, and gameplay improvements. Why do some players feel satisfied just seeing their favorite boxer, even if the gameplay is lacking? Because recognition creates an emotional shortcut. It triggers familiarity and excitement, which can temporarily override critical evaluation over gameplay quality. Let me see. I could read a couple of more. What would balanced approach to licensing look like? What would a balanced approach to licensing look like? Focus on a small group of on high impact names. Then invest heavily in systems. Use those names as anchors, not the foundation of the entire product. Is the demand for more boxers coming from a vocal minority or majority? It offers a vocal group that dominates discussion. Many casual players don't even engage at that level. Yes, they do. They care more about whether the game feels good when they pick it up. Nah, that's not the case. Why does adding more boxers automatically create more unique matchups? Because matchups are defined by behavior, not names. If the AI and systems don't support stylistic diversity, every matchup starts to feel similar, regardless of who's in the ring. Can a game succeed with zero licensed boxers? Can a game succeed with zero licensed boxers? Yes, if the gameplay is strong enough. History has shown that mechanics and feel can carry a game further than branding alone, especially over time. Why do developers sometimes highlight roster size and marketing instead of gameplay systems? Because it's easier to communicate 100 boxers. It's simple. explaining AI behavior layers or combat logic systems is complex and harder to market quickly. I doubt. I disagree. I disagree because when companies like 2K does that with basketball, they don't sell it off of the basketball players. They sell it off of the mechanics. They sell the game off of the AI behavior, off of the combat. I mean, off of the gameplay logic, the systems, all of that, not the names anymore. All right. Is there a point where adding more boxers become meaningless? Is there a point where adding more boxers become meaningless? Yes. Once you pass the recognition threshold and system capacity, additional boxers add little value. They become fillers rather than functional additions. What should players be asking for instead of more licensed boxers? They should be asking for better AI decision making, authentic movement and spacing, deeper defensive systems, realistic demand and vulnerability modeling. Those are the elements that define the experience. What's the simplest way to explain why licensing isn't the solution? What's the simplest way to explain why licensing isn't the solution? Because names don't create gameplay. Systems do. Without strong systems, names are just labels on the same experience. A roster can impress you for 5 minutes. Gameplay is what keeps you playing for 5 months. All right, let me see what y'all saying, and then I'm out. Let me see. Yeah, I agree. Great mechanics and realism is way more important than likenesses, especially we'll get both. Let me see. E-Boxing Championship, but Ash has a soft heart. I wouldn't expect him to be comfortable in the boxing world, and that's what it would take to get what we want out of a boxing game. Yup, he's very soft, and I hate to say that about him too. He wouldn't hire you, Paul. Nope. Nah. The team didn't want me there too. They didn't want me to be no part of Steel City. No part of Steel City. And that's crazy. I would have been out of their hair, but I just would have just been more vocal. I would have been more passionate about ideas, not just accept things. Just happy to be there. That wouldn't have been me. All right, y'all. I'm about to end the show. I appreciate everybody that came in. I think we had a nice little amount of people came in today. Let me see something. Yeah, we had a nice amount of people. Salute to the developers that pop in. They listen or they listen to it later. I appreciate y'all. And to the community as a whole, when y'all listen to this, sign the survey. Fill out the survey that I created, or you don't have to. What you should do is sign the petition. Force Steel City hand. You can force Steel City hand. Let them make a third-party survey. It's not the same as the survey that they would make. It's not the survey that they would make. Let a third-party company make the survey and let us see the results openly. I'm telling y'all, it works. At least try. Y'all like, it's not going to work. Why not try? Why not fill out the survey? I think a lot of people that keep saying it's not going to work, they think it's going to work. they think it's going to work, and they think that the people that they think is not the majority is the majority, and they don't like them ideas of the people that like are real passionate about the game, and they might be the majority, but we don't know because y'all won't fill out a survey or ask for one. But I'm let me give out my quick shout out. Shout out to Leafy. Leafy be fighting. That's his new name. Leafy changed the name. E-Boxing Champion. Salute for you coming through. Shout out to Lamont Davis. Shout out to Shaolin Phrase 187. You can catch him on Twitch. Who else popped in here? Shout out to Box Eye View. I appreciate you. Shout out to AJ Pax. Shout out to the Whistlers Mafia. Shout out to Papanosis. Shout out to everybody that tried to support me and help me. I appreciate y'all. Please hit the like button when you see the video. I appreciate it. And shout out once again to the developers that watched the video. Who else I want to give a shout out to? Shout out to Ichiro. Shout out to it's people that I be wanting to shout out, but I be forgetting their name. But you know, shout out to all of you. Y'all know who your names are. And I'm sounding just like Shannon, because Shannon said that junk with me. You know we're friends. That's all that matters. Nah, man, let me get an autograph picture, Shannon. You still owe me that autograph picture, man. Or I gotta bump into you so we can get a picture together. Because me just saying that people think I'm capping. They think I'm just saying stuff. Me and Shannon go way back. Way back. When Shannon was thinned out. When Shannon was thin. When Shannon was thinned out. Appreciate you leaving talking about I did a good show. It was all right. It was all right. No, y'all made the show. Y'all popping up, that's what made the show. All right, so yeah, let me end the show. I'm up here wasting time doing nothing. And shout out to, let me see. Shout out to Don D. Shout out to Don D 205. You can catch him on Twitch. Don D 205. He comes on Twitch at, I say 12:22 a.m. from Monday to Saturday. You can about 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pop in and pop out. If you're sleepy, getting up to get some water, pop into his Twitch and you know, just support him. And then you go right back to bed. And he's on Twitter, Don D205. And he's on Instagram, Don D205 TV. Support him. Appreciate all of y'all. Support Leafy. He got a Discord. Support E-Boxing Champions. You know, let's just support each other. I try to support y'all as much as I can. But if I'm not writing, you know, I'm all over the place. All right. I might as well just try to wait out the last 7 seconds. You know, I just, to the developers that watch this show, there you go. Never mind. Appreciate y'all, though. Did my 2 hours. I did 2 hours. Peace. Appreciate y'all. Thanks to the developers.